Hello guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video. Today we are going to be reviewing the Oden'S holiday collection for 2023. They have released two new palettes, Hey Reindeer and Snow Dream, alongside with their Christmas palettes from last year, Merry Christmas and Christmas Eve. And the palettes once again are so stunning. The artwork always just blows me away. The detail that Oden'S has is insane. Definitely gets you in the holiday spirit. So all the palettes, all four palettes are 43 USD. I am a little late with my review, but if you would like to save a bit of money, you can use code JUDY at checkout. That will get you 10% off. There is also a bundle as well, so if you missed out last year and you now want to get all four palettes, you can get all four for pretty much $150, which I feel like is a really good deal if you want to split that up with your friends. But for today's review, I do want to focus more on the comparisons and the looks that I did with the palettes, just because I feel like you guys probably know how I feel about Oden'S eyeshadow formula. They are so easy to work with. Like every time I use an Oden'S eye palette, after a while I'm just like, wow. Simply wow. It's such an easy formula to work with, especially when it comes to like brighter or darker colors. They do it so well. I absolutely love their mattes. And then for their shimmers, don't even get me started. They have such a good range of shimmers. Like the dimension you will get from these palettes is insane, because they have metallics that are more like eyeshadow toppers. So there's like more micro glitters, and then they have a formula with more chunky glitters in there, and then they also have a multi-chrome finish as well. So there is just so much dimension that you will get from these two palettes. It's so beautiful. So when it comes to formula with the eyeshadow palettes, I absolutely love their formula. I think it's more informative to show you comparisons and also inspiration with the palettes. So that's what I'm gonna give you today. For the comparisons, I'll start rolling them on the screen. I decided to do shade by shade comparisons. Usually I do palette comparisons because that's a little bit easier, but I feel like with Oden'S with their palettes, they don't really do monochromatic palettes. They have a really unique color story. Like there's not a strong color story to their palettes, so I think it's better to showcase it shade by shade. This might be a little bit long because there are 16 shadows in each palette, and comparing one by one does take a lot of time, but hopefully this will be helpful in case you do own a lot of Oden'S. Maybe there isn't a lot of shades that you really want or need from these new palettes. I'll also have my review on the palettes from last year linked in the cards and down below in the description. In case you want to see comparisons for those palettes, or if you want to see looks, I'll have that linked so you can refer to that as well. So to get started with the first look, we'll be using the Snow Dream palette. I wanted to create something that was a little bit more approachable, something that's just very warm, gingerbread. That was my inspo. So first, going into the shade Feast, I'm going to work this all over my lid, and I'll slowly blend that up into my crease. This essentially is the base color of our eye look, and it's really just going to set the tone. This is going to be our warm gingerbread man eye look. Also taking that onto my lower lash line as well, just sweeping that from left to right. I'm getting most of the color just at the outer corner here. Then going into the darker warm chocolate brown, I'm going to focus this at the outer corners to get more depth. As you can see, we're going to be doing a soft matte cut crease, so this is just going to deepen out the outer corners to really contrast against that cut crease. And this is such a nice warm brown. There's a lot of orange undertone to it, so I feel like it's just perfect for like that cozy, I mean, I don't have a cozy Christmas. My Christmas is in summer, so I'm not even sure where I was going with that, but you know, pumpkin spice type of brown. And of course, we're going to take that onto the lower lash line as well. I'm using a defining brush, using that up against my waterline. Now we're going into Goodwill, which is the creamy white. And essentially, I'm just going to start packing that onto the inner third of my lid. I'm gonna use this matte white to cut the crease out. So I'm just really packing on the color. I'm just going in with a smaller brush just to get a little bit more detailed. I really haven't done a cut crease in such a long time. It just brings me back to when I first started my channel and I was doing cut creases literally every day. So with the creamy white, we're also gonna take that onto the lower lash, but at the inner third. And this is going to highlight the egg yolk style, which is the under eye bag, like you can see here. And the matte white is going to just act as a base, but because it's a matte white, like this is the best color to make it just pop out. Now I'm taking the shade Hugs, and I'm using a super flat brush for this, and most of the product is on the tip of the brush. So what I'm gonna do is drag that tip along the lash line, and essentially what I'm doing is just dragging that tip along that cut crease line, sort of to get a glitter liner effect. We are going to go in with a glitter liner just to enhance it, but I feel like just doing this as the base gives like a really nice scattered glitter effect. I just wanted to add like some kind of glitter to this eye look because it's already very matte. I'll take a little bit of that on my lower lash line as well. Again, just for like a little base. And then taking a liquid liner, this one is from Flower Nose. We are just gonna further enhance that glitter liner cut crease. A little bit on the lower lash line as well. And then lastly, to complete the look, I'm just gonna add on some little pearls. One to the inner corner, and then one at the outer corner. And before I forget, I did take the shade Guess, the matte red, and I just used it on my lash line just to get a hint of red there to really tie in those Christmas colors. But here we have the first look completed using the Snow Dream palette. I feel like you can't go wrong with your classic warm tone eyeshadows with the little peekaboo glitters. It's really giving holidays to me. I really love how this look turned out. I know it's a little bit more simple in terms of technique and colors, but I feel like this is just a classic holiday look. So hopefully you guys like it as well. And then onto the second look, we'll be using the Hey Reindeer palette. And this look is inspired by Jellybean on Instagram. She's literally my makeup muse. I love all of her looks, and I feel like this look specifically we can recreate with this palette alone. So first up, we're going to take the shade Cider, and I'm going to start packing that on at the inner third of my eye. This is a nice minty baby blue. And around the crease area, I'm just going to use more circular motions to diffuse that out, sort of creating a half cut crease, but not exactly a cut crease, if you know what I mean, just like mapping it out. Now we're going into Ivy, and we're going to focus this at the outer corners of our eyes. This is a really pretty seafoam type of blue. I feel like it's a really unique shade. Like, I really don't think I have a blue like this in my collection. And now taking the shade Holly, this is gonna go on at the lower lash line at the outer third. It's a really nice, like a muted periwinkle blue type of shade. And again, this is gonna go on the lower lash line, but I'm also gonna focus it at the inner third. And then I'm gonna sweep it underneath Holly, just sort of to merge those colors together. Now we're taking Greetings, and I'm just taking a really light amount of this because we're gonna dust this into the crease. And you know, with Oden'S shadows, they are pigmented, so I don't want to like overdo it. I just want like a light wash of this reddish color, and I don't want to like get rid of the blue, you know, so we're just using a light hand. And I'm just gonna take a fluffy brush, a clean fluffy brush, to just really smoke out those edges. Now we're gonna go in with mistletoe, and I'm gonna use this to start creating my wing. I do mix it in with a little bit of the dark brown on the palette just to make it a little bit darker. I'm also gonna use it to slightly smoke out the lash line as well. Also taking it here in my inner corner just to have that contrasting red. Then I'm gonna take Christmas Ham. This is their more chunky metallic if you dab it out. So I'm gonna dab this out around the cut crease line. I really want that like chunky glitter to be the base for this whole glittery, I don't know, galaxy way, Milky Way. Of course scattered on the lower lash line as well. And I just have to add on more glitter, so I'm going in with this one from Cezanne. But because it's a glitter liner, we're going to be a little bit more precise, dragging this along the cut crease. Of course, on the lower lash. And to top it off, I'm going in with a glitter gel, but technically it's just glitter because the gel has kind of dried out. This is the ColourPop Disco Lady. I'm just going to take a few little chunks to add that dimension. So that's the thing with glitter, just adding on different sizes is going to give you a lot of glimmer and it's going to look so pretty. Adding on an eyeshadow topper that sort of has silvery reflex just to add again a bit more sparkle, but this one is very micro, the little glitters, and it's just going to enhance this look even more. Now I'm just going in with some white eyeliner. She has a little flick just from here out. And now for the final look, we'll be using a mixture of Snow Dream and Hey Reindeer. This look was inspired by a face chart that I found on a Little Red, but instead of the inner corner making it a butterfly, I'm gonna do a snowflake for the Christmas vibes. Taking the shade Cider from the Hey Reindeer palette and just starting off by packing this on at the inner third of our eyes. It's actually quite similar to the second look of just like cutting out the crease with an eyeshadow. Now we're taking Snowflake from the Snow Dream palette and we're just gonna pack that on right next to the pastel blue. Gonna be a soft gradient of these pastel colors. I thought this look was just really different for a Christmas look. It's not something you would typically expect, and that's what I really like about it. From the same palette, going in with Ornament, and I'm just gonna use this to deepen out the outer edge ever so slightly. Back into the Hey Reindeer palette, taking the shade Reindeer. I'm using a pretty small blending brush and using a very light hand. In circular motions, I'm gonna start building up this purple pink just at the outer crease above all of the blue and green shadow. I feel like this adds a really nice contrast. Also taking that same shadow onto our lower lash line. This is going to be the base color, and again just a nice contrast. Back to the Snow Dream palette, taking this shade here. This shadow has more chunkier glitter, so again similar to the second look. I'm taking the tip of my brush and I'm just gonna drag this glitter along my crease line. This metallic is seriously so pretty, but the glitters reflect like every color. I'm gonna take some of that onto the center on my lower lash line. And essentially that is it for the eyeshadow. Now it's just time to create the snowflake at the inner corner, which is pretty straightforward. You're just drawing on a snowflake at your inner corner. I'm using a white eyeliner from Glisten Cosmetics. And here we have the final look completed, a mixture of both palettes. It definitely does look like a holiday look, but then it also doesn't because of the colors. It's not what you typically would think of when you think of a Christmas snow look, right? But I really do love how this look came together. I will have all my inspo in the description, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this final look. Alright guys, so those were my 3 looks. Be sure to let me know your favorite down below in the comments. I feel like look 2 and look 3 definitely were my favorite. These are colors I usually don't pair together, but because I found those looks on Little Red, they really inspired me and I really liked how the looks turned out in the end. It's just not usual colors I would mix together, so that's what I love about Oden's palette, is that you can create so many looks and so many color combos because they don't just stick to one color story, and I tend to stick to one color story. I live in a very monochromatic world, so I feel like Oden's Eye helps me to, you know, step out a little bit. But I forgot to mention that there are the silk scarves. Oden's Eye always comes out with silk scarves with a lot of the collections, if not probably all. Yeah, I think all collections. So it's in the big square scarves, so it's for each of the palettes. These are really cute. My mum and Harry's mum loves these scarves. I always pass it on to them and they love it because the colorways are really pretty too. Like, this is gorgeous. But yeah, I guess that is pretty much it for today's review. Again, I want to focus more on the comparisons and the looks. Even though this review is late, hopefully you still found my video helpful. If you did enjoy the video, if you could, please give the video a thumbs up for me. It really does help me and my channel out a lot. But with that being said, guys, that does conclude today's video. Thank you so much for watching as always. I truly do appreciate it. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!